Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into one of the world's fastest growing and, I gotta say, tastiest mushrooms. This is a species that literally turns agricultural waste into a nutritional powerhouse.
You know, this quote from Dr. P. Mahapatra just perfectly captures the magic of fungi, doesn't it? Especially for the one we're talking about today, the Paddy Straw Mushroom. It's a great reminder that these things, well, they play by a completely different set of rules than plants. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with what makes this a speedy superfood. Then we'll get into why it's such a big deal to cultivate it. After that, we'll look at how it's grown, both outdoors and indoors. And finally, we'll cover the mad dash to get it from the farm to your plate. Okay, first things first, let's get properly introduced to Volvarilla volvacea, or, as it's more commonly known, the Paddy straw mushroom. You might also hear it called the Chinese mushroom. So this mushroom has been around for a while. It was first cultivated in China way back in 1882. It absolutely loves the heat, which is why it's such a staple in Southeast Asian cooking. And the taste? People who've had it fresh describe it as just explosive and full. And here is where it gets really wild. It's speed. From the moment you introduce the spawn, which is kind of like the mushroom's version of a seed, to a full harvest, it takes just 10 to 12 days. Seriously, think about that. That makes it one of the fastest growing commercial mushrooms on the entire planet. Okay, but we have to talk about this, and it is absolutely crucial. If you're ever out foraging, you have to know its deadly lookalike, the death cap. They can look shockingly similar. So what's the one thing that can save you? It's the spore print. The Paddy straw mushroom leaves a pinkish-brown print. The death cap? It's white. Getting this wrong is, well, it's not an option. So, okay, it's fast and it's tasty, but why is this mushroom so important? Well, because its story is so much bigger than just what's on the dinner plate. It's a whole narrative of nutrition, economics, and ecology all rolled into one. I mean, just look at this. It's basically the ultimate superfood. It is packed with high-quality protein, loaded with essential minerals, and get this, it even has compounds that are good for your skin, stuff that can help with moisture and elasticity. And it does all that with almost no fat. What a package. Now, this is fascinating. It illustrates a real paradox. You've got India, a tropical country that's perfect for growing heat-loving mushrooms, right? Yet 73% of its production is focused on the temperate button mushroom. Meanwhile, China has diversified way more. Only 30% of their production is button mushrooms because they've embraced varieties like the Paddy straw that are way better suited for their climate. And this is the real kicker. It is a massive environmental win. This mushroom takes waste products, things like rice straw or cotton waste that might otherwise just get burned, and it bioconverts them. It turns that waste into a valuable, protein-rich food source. It's upcycling in its most delicious form. So you're probably wondering, how do you actually grow this thing? Well, let's start with the most accessible method, the one that's perfect for beginners or small-scale farmers who are working with the natural environment. This is a super popular technique, especially in coastal parts of India and Southeast Asia. What's cool is that you'll often see it grown as an intercrop, just nestled right there in the shade under coconut or banana trees. Talk about making efficient use of your land. And the process itself is wonderfully simple. You basically just make these bundles of straw, you soak them, and then you layer them up into a big rectangular bed. In between the layers, you sprinkle in the mushroom spawn, add a little nitrogen boost like graham powder, and then you just cover the whole thing up and let it do its thing. But what if you need a bigger, more reliable harvest? Well, that's when growers move things indoors. This is the commercial scale operation, and it is all about control. You can really see the trade-off here, can't you? The outdoor method is cheap to start, sure, but you're at the mercy of the weather. The indoor method, it costs more upfront to set up all of the environmental controls, but the payoff is huge, a much higher, more stable yield that you can harvest all year round. This is definitely more of a high-tech process. You're creating this perfectly optimized compost, usually from cotton waste. Then you literally steam pasteurize it to kill off any other molds or bacteria that might try to compete. You're basically creating a five-star hotel exclusively for your mushrooms to grow in. And it's not like there's only one way to do it. Growers all over the world have their own techniques for prepping the straw. In China and Vietnam, they might just use boiling water. In India, you see more of that controlled steaming on commercial farms. And in a place like Cambodia, they use the power of the sun, a simple but really effective sun pasteurization method. Okay, so you've grown the perfect mushrooms. But believe it or not, that's only half the battle. Now comes the real challenge, a frantic race against the clock. Timing here is everything. You absolutely have to harvest them at this specific egg stage. You see that thin membrane covering the young mushroom? That's the universal veil. You have to pick it right before that veil breaks. Why? Because that's when the flavor and texture are at their peak. And most importantly, it buys you a little more time on its very short shelf life. And there it is, 12 hours. That number is this mushroom's biggest enemy. At room temperature, that's all the time you have before it starts to spoil. It just breathes so fast, and its texture is so delicate that it's a true honest-to-goodness race to get it from the farm to the consumer. So, to fight back against that ticking clock, producers have come up with some really clever solutions. They create all these value-added products, drying them, canning them, even turning them into powder. It's brilliant, because these products don't just last longer, they open up totally new markets. So when you put it all together, its unbelievable speed, its incredible nutritional profile, and this unique ability to literally turn our trash into food, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could this humble little mushroom actually play a huge role in the future of our food systems? It's definitely something to think about.